What's up? Matt here with Barn Door Cycling's video blog. So today I want to talk about what I've got here behind me. This is a new e-bike I just built up. So kind of story behind this is that Shauna used to ride with me back in the day a few years ago, and you know, she got fairly good at riding the bike. She did some 60-mile rides. She was riding pretty strong, but she really struggled with the hills. Anytime we'd hit a hill, it was just a big slowdown. And I was kind of like, you know, kind of giving her a hard time about it a little bit, you know, just not too bad, but a little bit. And that all ended once when we both took heart rate monitors on a ride, and I saw that she was just killing herself. She had on the same hill where I had a 120 beat per minute heart rate, she had a 175. And I was like, okay, I'm sorry, no wonder you are murdering yourself to get up these hills. So eventually she had some issues with her hand and carpal tunnel and stopped riding, and she's always kind of wanted to get back into it but been kind of afraid to go through the whole build-up phase again and get to in shape where she could ride strong. And then she never really was too comfortable riding with me anyway, because she's always worried she was slowing me down and you know, kind of limiting me. And I really enjoyed riding with her. It was fun to have somebody to ride with, and it was a good thing for us to do together. So I was thinking, you know, an e-bike might be just what we needed to kind of balance each other out. It's a Bafang 8 Fun. You see these, it's got Luna cycles on it, but it's the same as the Bafang motor, the 8 Fun mid-drive motor. We went with the mid-drive motor just because everything I read just seemed to indicate that was the best solution, especially for hill climbing. It seemed like, when I started looking at videos, a pretty easy installation, and it was incredibly easy. One of the easiest things, way easier than I thought. For battery, I went with California e-bike and ordered I think it's a 13.5 watt hour lithium, I think it's lithium polymer battery. It's really slick. So let's look at all these things and check them out. So here's the battery, which was close to the most expensive part, just $100 cheaper than the motor. It mounts on a water ball cage. It's removable. It's got a key lock there. You can lock it, take it off your bike. It's got a USB plug. You can charge things. So a little button here to check the charge. It shows you the charge levels. And it's got an on-off switch on the other side. So as far as the bike goes, this was pretty much, believe it or not, the cheapest part was just getting a bike. It was basically given to me. It's a fairly low-end Schwinn hybrid type bike. It's not great, but it's not bad either. Aluminum frame. It's got the awesome Shimano Mega Range cassettes, so got some low climbing gears, even though I don't think she's going to need them. Brooks saddle on there. I'm not sure if that's something that she's going to want or not, but that's my Brooks saddle that I stuck on there. And let's get around to the other side. We've got your controller here, so everything's operated from this. Probably the hardest part to install was installing this controller. They didn't give you any adapters for handlebar size, and I ended up just cutting some inner tubes, and hopefully I'll come up with something that looks a little nicer, but for now that's going to work. So I've got it switched on. We've got your control surface over here. Press the power button. Switch the system on. Battery's fully charged. So only real thing you can control, as far as I can tell so far, is you have assist levels from 0 to 5. Now I took this out and tested it on the street the other day, which is kind of tricky right now. We've got snow. I wasn't able to really ride it very far because of the snow. But on assist level 1, it felt pretty powerful. On assist level 5, it kind of scared me a little bit how quickly it accelerated with just a slight pedal stroke. So there's our control system. We got a throttle over here. Whoa, the throttle's on, it works. So yeah. And check out the mid-drive motor. Very easy, like I said, to install. It just replaced your bottom bracket, a couple bolts here, a couple lock rings. It took me about 5 minutes to install this. Took about 10 minutes to take out the old crank. So the way the bike works is if you're pedaling, it pretty much automatically kicks in that pedal assist. If pedal assist is on level 1 or higher, the pedal assist kicks in and the motor starts working. Depending on the gear you're in, it's gonna either just spin away from you. If you're like on a flat road and you're in level 1, pretty soon it's just spinning away from you and you can't even keep up. And the motor is basically doing all the work. So I think it's going to be a little bit hard to control, but we'll know more when we get it on the actual road. So the other operational method is to use just the thumb control. You don't have to pedal at all. You can ride it like a motorcycle. So I thought it might be kind of interesting to test the e-bike out on Zwift, so I can actually get an idea of how much wattage I'm putting out. So I'm on the new course, Leaf Hills, great new feature on Zwift. You don't start at the beginning of every course now, at the beginning of London. Instead, you start close to the beginning of the actual course you want to ride on. Great new feature in Zwift. So I've got pedal assist level 1 on. As you can see, my heart rate's going up. I'm pedaling, I'm assisting. I'm putting out about 180 watts, and I'm not pedaling that hard. So for me, 180 watts is pedaling pretty hard usually. That means I'm actually got my heart rate up around 140, 150, and right now it's going to hang around 130, depending on how hard I want to work, and I'm going to be putting out 175, 180 watts. So with pedal assist level 1, you can get a pretty good workout, get your heart rate up, and then the e-bike's throwing in an extra probably close to 75, 80 watts over what you normally put out. Maybe a little bit less, maybe more like 50, but you're still going to be able to keep up with faster riders just on level 1 and get a good workout. So I think it's going to work out really, really well. At this point, I've switched it to pedal assist 0, and I'm pedaling pretty hard, and you can see my heart rate's gone up to 140. I couldn't hold 200 watts too well on this bike. I could tell it was going to wind me pretty fast. 125, 150, somewhere in there, was feeling pretty tough riding this particular bike on my trainer. So pretty soon I switched the pedal assist back on and start heading up this hill. So pedal assist level 1 back on. Pretty soon I switched to level 2, and I have a feeling that, you know, every time you click the pedal assist, it's probably putting out another 50 watts or so, 25 to 50 watts to help you out. There's not a huge difference between each pedal assist. You feel it helping out a little bit more, but by the time you get to level 5, it's a massive difference. So here I am putting out 240 watts, 250 watts, and my heart rate's actually going to start going down here for a minute. I think I've cranked it up maybe to the highest level just to see the big difference. And I want to say I'm just barely pedaling at this point, and I'm putting out 300 watts, and my heart rate's going to start going down. So yeah, 500, 600. Well, my heart rate's going up now, so I might have been. I wanted to get a feeling about how much actual power I could put out on the bike. So me pedaling hard with the pedal assist on, I was going to get, depending on what level I had the pedal assist on, I was going to get somewhere up around 800 watts, which is pretty close to how hard I can pedal my actual bike, except for going way, way harder. There's no way I was really going that hard
yeah, the heart rate was glitching or something, because there was no way I hit 180 or 170 or whatever. I never pedaled. I never really hardly broke a sweat riding this. So it's just incredible the amount of help that can put out for you. You can see my heart rate's gone way down, and that's because I was using the throttle, just testing out this throttle response. By itself, with me just coasting, the throttle could put out close to 600 watts. So, you know, you could more or less just sit on this thing and ride it like a motorcycle, because 600 watts is going to cruise you around on flat roads at 25 miles an hour, maybe more. On hills, you're going to be able to climb, you know, anything. I mean, 600 watts is going to climb anything, and you're going to keep a pretty good pace. So I don't know how long the battery would last cruising around at 600 watts, but you could definitely ride this thing like a moped. And I would be a little afraid to ride this bike like a moped around town with the small tires and weak brakes and terrible position that you set in, this upright position, but it could be done. So anyway, just wanted everybody to know I don't plan on continuing to ride the e-bike on Zwift. That's just ridiculous. I only did it for a little test to see how well it would work out, see what kind of wattage the bike puts out. There's a lot simpler and better ways to cheat if I wanted to cheat on Zwift. So not doing that, but looking forward to getting this out on the street and seeing what kind of pace that Shauna can keep up. I'm hoping for some good motor pacing where I can be drafting her at 20-some miles an hour and getting some good motor pacing in, and she can put out a little bit less watts than me, but have a great workout for her. So. Oh, and by the way, if you're wondering why the riders keep disappearing, my wonderful internet service provider has their internet's been dropping on and off constantly ever since it snowed. It drops for a second every few minutes, and it's made riding Zwift a lot less fun because all the riders are disappearing every few minutes, and it really sucks. But I guess it snowed, so there's probably water in a wire somewhere, who knows. But anyway, I'd say that's enough of me talking for now. Have a great day, and that's it.
Thank you.